if there's ever an invitation for the other team to attack, that is it. When you see Martinez going off and you see Lindelof going off and they're bringing on Harry Maguire and Johnny Evans, you'd love it. You as an attacker will be rubbing your hands thinking, right, how many goals can I get against these two? Even the Arsenal fans were cheering Harry Maguire's name when he came on, and they were so happy that he came on. It's embarrassing as a Man United fan to watch that. It was absolutely embarrassing to have Arsenal fans chant Harry Maguire when he came on. A quick one just before we start the show. I want to say a huge thank you to everybody that subscribed to the channel. We are completely overwhelmed by the support and the subscribers to this channel. It's been amazing. The whole growth of the channel has been absolutely insane. We did not expect the channel to grow this fast. It's been amazing. But if you're new to the channel, please go ahead and hit that subscribe button so you can keep up to date with all the Manchester United news and opinion. Thank you. Welcome to the Man United stream. Hope you are doing well. It's Monday morning. It's Monday morning and it's the day after the loss against Arsenal. Yes, it was a Sunday afternoon kickoff against Arsenal away, and well, I've got mixed feelings about the game. Like most people have. Now, there's some real good positives out of this game, and there were some negatives. Let's first concentrate on the positives, shall we? Shall we look at the positives first? We'll look at the positives first in the game. First thing is first, before the game, most fans had this down as a really difficult game for Manchester United. Most fans actually were worried that Manchester United might get beat 6-7-0. It was one of those kind of games. We all knew that it's going to be a very difficult game for Manchester United. In the previous 3 games, they struggled against all opposition. We all knew we had to perform better than what we've done in the previous games, and Man United did actually do that. Yes, Man United actually performed really well in the game. Yes, Arsenal had a lot more attacking possession, and yes, they had more shots on target, but that was expected. They were the home team. They were always going to pressure. They were under pressure to perform and make sure that they pressured a United team that was below par in many different places. So going into this game, Arsenal were favourites to win the game because Manchester United had loads of players that were injured. Varane was injured, Luke Shaw was injured, we had Mount injured, we had lots of injuries all around the pitch, and our key players were out. I mean, taking Varane out of that team was so hard because Varane has been one of our best players so far in the season. He's actually been phenomenal, really good. And Luke Shaw, of course, he's a miss. We had Dalot playing there. He's out of position. So Dalot, although did a really good job, I was really impressed. And I did think, why do we go out there and get another left back? Because this guy could do a better job. I very much doubt Reguilón could come in and do a better job than Dalot. Dalot is very comfortable out on the left back position. He's played there for AC Milan. He's played there for other teams. He's played there full time as a left back. So he's not uncomfortable playing that position. And he looked really good there. Defended really well. What other positives? Other positives were Højlund. Højlund looked really good coming on. He had that cameo appearance near the last 20 minutes and he just looked like a really strong physical type player. He's going to really do well in the Premier League. And Højlund, once he finds his feet, will be insane for Manchester United. I can just see it happening. He just seems like he's got the right attributes. He's got the pace, he's got the skill, and he's got the physicality to play in that role. And I thought Rashford had a decent game as well. There's always critics about Rashford saying that he's good and he's not good, blah, but he does get the goals for United. From that left wing, he is very dangerous and he causes a lot of headache for teams. And against Arsenal, every time he was getting the ball, it looked like he was going to do something. It put them under pressure. The other player that I really enjoyed watching was Onana. His passing is just so cool, calm and collected. It's just nothing like you've ever seen before from a keeper. He's just too calm and relaxed. It's just amazing to watch. He plays like a central midfield player. It's amazing, absolutely amazing. Yes, there's critics out there who are calling out Onana, saying that he's not making enough saves and De Gea would have made those saves. Yes, we all know De Gea was a good shot stopper, without a doubt. He was one of the best in the world. So comparing him to De Gea as a shot stopper, De Gea would win that contest. But right now the game isn't just about shot stopping, it's about making plays from the back, and that's what Onana's good at. That was one of the best games Man United have played this season, and it shows that Man United are improving under Ten Hag. Ten Hag is slowly improving the team, and this is what he did last season. There were several key moments in the game. Obviously the first one was Manchester United scoring, Rashford going ahead on the break and scoring that beautiful goal. What a goal it was. But the biggest problem, and I said this as watching the game, that Arsenal scored immediately after, and that gave them that boost. And if Manchester United could have held them out for another 10-20 minutes, it would have got the crowds back up. They would have got nervous. The team would have got nervous. This is what Arsenal do. They bottle it when it's really needed. They press that panic button immediately when the pressure hits them, and it would have been an easy game for Manchester United to control after that point. However, they let that goal go in immediately after they had scored, and that just gave the boost Arsenal needed. I feel Odegaard should have been marked better. I mean, I think that was Eriksen's fault. I think Eriksen let him go, and that's where Odegaard came in and scored. And after that Arsenal goal, Arsenal did pressure United for the rest of that first half, but second half Man United did come out and looked a lot more composed, a lot more confident on the ball, and you could see that they were going to create chances no matter what Arsenal were doing, and that made Arsenal nervous, and then it led to that goal from Garnacho which was ruled offside. And if there was ever a harsh decision for offside, that was it. I mean, what was that? I mean, what was he offside by? His tattoos or something? Like, seriously, it was that close. Garnacho should have been given onside in my opinion. I think you should give the benefit of the doubt to the strikers if it's really hard to tell if it's onside or offside, and it was. Even with the lines on the screen, you could not make out whether he was onside or offside, and I think he should have been given the benefit of doubt, and that would have changed the entire game. Manchester United would have gone on to win the game and seal the win because it was 87 minutes or something. If Man United would have been awarded that goal, everything would have shut down, Arsenal would have shut down, everything would have gone silent, and most fans would have left the stadium. That is what would have happened. We would have walked away with all 3 points, and that's how close we were to winning the game away from home against Arsenal. So they were fine margins, and these are the positives you have to take out of the game against Arsenal. It was hard to watch. It was a disappointing result at the end of it. However, there were some very, very good things to see from United and to take out of the game. As a fan, you were left with mixed emotions. Part of you was happy to see the improvement that Manchester United had made as a team. However, the result was not what you were looking for. Now turning to the negatives in the game, and there were some negatives, and we have to approach these because if you don't, you're not going to go and improve as a team. And clearly there were some negatives, and the biggest negative is that Manchester United have got no squad depth. Martinez and Lindelof, both our centre-backs, went off injured, and that is really worrying because in the last few games we've seen that happen so many times. Our centre-backs keep going off. They cannot last the entire game. So what is going on here? I think both our centre-backs in this style of play of the high press are being asked to do a lot of running, and that does catch up to them later on in the game and they're having to go off. But the biggest problem is that we haven't got anyone to replace them. We put on Johnny Evans and Harry Maguire as replacements for Martinez and Lindelof. Talk about a drop down. From them, we went to Harry Maguire and Johnny Evans. Two players that would not get into even a championship team were playing in one of the biggest Premier League games of the season against Arsenal. If there's ever an invitation for the other team to attack, that is it. When you see Martinez going off and you see Lindelof going off and they're bringing on Harry Maguire and Johnny Evans, you'd love it. You as an attacker will be rubbing your hands thinking, right, how many goals can I get against these two? Even the Arsenal fans were cheering Harry Maguire's name when he came on, and they were so happy that he came on. It's embarrassing as a Man United fan to watch that. It was absolutely embarrassing to have Arsenal fans chant Harry Maguire when he came on, because they knew that Johnny Evans and Harry Maguire will not be able to cope with their attackers. Simple as. And as a Man United fan watching that happen, you know you're in deep, deep trouble. And we have been saying this throughout the summer transfer window, that the squad needs to improve. The squad depth needs to improve. Ten Hag himself has asked for new centre-backs. He's asked for new defenders and asked for new midfielders because he knows that he needs these players. It's unfortunate that Harry Maguire did not want to leave and has stayed at the club, and therefore they've not brought in a better replacement. And they've signed Johnny Evans because they had no choice. Ten Hag had no choice but to sign Johnny Evans because he knew that he needed more centre-backs. And the scary thought is that if we hadn't signed Johnny Evans, we would have no centre-back to come in. I mean, who would they have? It's absolutely diabolical that this club, the size of Manchester United and the stature of Manchester United, is having to rely on these two centre-backs in such big games. I mean, what can you say? What can you say? It's hard to watch as a Man United fan. It all comes back to our business on the summer transfer market. We did not do enough, I feel, and I think we're going to have to revisit this again and again throughout the whole season, because this is going to be a reoccurring problem. We haven't got enough squad players to come in if someone gets injured. But on a positive note, I would give that game 7 out of 10 for Manchester United. I thought there was lots and lots of positives to take. Yes, there was negatives, but the positives were there clearly to be seen. And I think if the team carries on playing like that, we will get the results we need. If Manchester United were at home against Arsenal, that game I think Manchester United would have won. Now moving on, after the game there was some controversy. Yes, Ten Hag gave his post-match press conference in which he was asked about Jadon Sancho and why Jadon Sancho was not part of the squad and available to bring on as a sub. And in response to those questions, Ten Hag came out and told the media that the reason why Jadon Sancho was not picked for the squad and was not there for the Arsenal game is because he hadn't shown enough at training. And those comments were picked up by some of the media saying that Ten Hag publicly ought not to have condemned Jadon Sancho. Why didn't he keep that behind closed doors? He didn't need to come out and say that. A few hours after these comments made by Ten Hag, a statement is put out by Jadon Sancho. Yes, unbelievable this, unbelievable. What is the state of the football right now? What's happened to the player-manager relationship here? Where is that status quo? Why is the manager not respected enough? Players these days pulling out with statements left, right and centre. What? Literally hours after the manager had called out Jadon Sancho for not doing well enough in training, Sancho went public with a statement essentially saying that Ten Hag was lying. We'll bring up the statement so you can have a read of it, but look, that is not on. If your manager is criticising you, whether it's public or not public, you should take that on the chin and move on. You should accept the criticism and move on. That is what happens. Your manager will criticise you. You should accept that. Whether he does it in public or not, it makes no difference. Whether he's lying or not makes no difference. You need to show that you are a better player and you do the talking on the pitch. Simple as. If Ten Hag has said that he's not available because he's not done well at training, that's a contentious issue. We don't know whether he has or hasn't done well at training. Who can make a comment on such a thing? No one can. So, look, for me, Sancho should not have come out and made that statement. It's caused complete media mayhem around Manchester United, around Ten Hag, and we do not need it after such a big game. We did not need the whole Sancho issue hitting the roof, and now everyone's just laughing at Manchester United. We've turned into a complete joke of a club. You have to show more respect to the manager. You have to. There has to be a line which you cannot cross with the manager. The manager must keep everyone in check and keep all the players in check. And if he feels that you're not doing well enough, well, then you're not doing well enough. There's many managers out there who come out with all sorts against their players. You do not want players to come out and start reacting publicly to comments made by their managers. In hindsight, should Ten Hag have not made them comments? Probably not, yes. But you're asking managers these questions immediately after a game that they've lost, and Ten Hag, you could see, was not happy with the outcome of that game and he was not in a good mood. So you've asked these questions at the wrong time, and you can't expect the manager to be like a robot and not answer back and not be frustrated. Clearly, Ten Hag must have been frustrated that Sancho was not available. Now we've got this international break. Hopefully everything dies down by the time we do get back. Hopefully they can sort it out with Jadon Sancho. They can do something with him. I think he's crossed the line and I think Ten Hag will have to put him right. Let us know your thoughts on this whole issue and the game and everything. Drop your comments below. We love to hear from all of you. Hit that like button, and if you're new to the channel, please go ahead and subscribe. You were watching the Man United stream, a channel by the fans for the fans. Goodbye.